Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Degenerate Sports Talk. I'm your host, Paul Robinson. As always, I'm joined by my three cohorts from the other side of the pond. Everybody's favorite redneck over in the corner there, Mr. John Gaskins. Jason down there wearing that god-awful Michigan blue. And everybody's favorite cheesehead down in the bottom corner this week is Mr. Ken Gang. All right, boys, it's Super Bowl week this week. So this week, I, in my infinite wisdom, have decided to have some fun. And for that to happen, I need to invite somebody to the room. So you're going to have to bear with me a second while I get this sorted. Gaskins, you are going to absolutely hate this. With a longtime friend of mine and a couple of the guys in the room, absolute mortal enemy of Mr. John Gaskins. He's the host of TNT Dynamite's Fantasy Football podcast. It's Mr. Maury. It's not. It isn't. When he gets here, it's actually Mr. Sean McCullum who's going to come in and do a nice little prop bet casino type situation for us with regards to the Super Bowl, wherever the hell he's gotten to, the lunatic. He was supposed to be here already. So while we're doing that, obviously it's the Rams at the Bengals this weekend. The Rams are now a 4.5 point favorite last check an hour ago. And, it's a bit of a weird Super Bowl this weekend for me because obviously the Bengals are the home team. They're in LA at the brand new stadium that the Rams actually call home, and they're actually having to switch to the opposing team's locker room. I know we've been through this a couple of times in the last week or so, but I mean, still for me, it's kind of like, oh my God, what the hell? But let's see. We all know that my displeasure towards Stafford is already inking the way towards the Bengals. Anyway, so anybody got any updates? Gaskins, you just said something about Tyler Higbee not being available for the weekend. What's the score there, please, buddy?
Yeah, ESPN just reported Tyler Higbee is out with a knee injury as well as a backup lineman. So more than likely with a starting tight end out, I see the point spread probably adjusting if it hasn't already.
Fair enough. All right. Now, unfortunately, a little bit later than
By
planned.
the way, you have a Voodoo Stafford doll too. I know you do.
I do not have a Voodoo Stafford doll.
Yes,
I really don't.
Got pins. I'm telling you, you do.
He does. It's not working.
It really isn't working. Okay, so welcome to the show, Mr. Sean McCullum. A little bit later than advertised. Where the hell were you? But obviously, with it being Super Bowl weekend, I invited Sean along because he's been whinging at me for weeks about coming on and doing some prop bet stuff for us. And with it being Super Bowl weekend, I decided that this would be the weekend to have a bit of fun with Gaskins. So we're gonna.
Johnny boy!
Hey, what's up, Sean? Hey,
what's going on, brother?
Hey, I'm still trying to figure out what widget is. Speak English, man.
Okay, I've had like 3 different conversations with him today, and I still can't figure out what the hell he's saying half the time anyway, but that's just me. It must be the Brit in me. So obviously, with the news of Tyler Higbee being out that ESPN has just reported that Gaskins has just given us, how does that affect your betting lines down there, Sean? Because you had all those lovely little fun time bets for us to play with this week, and I'm guessing certain things have changed with that news.
The line right now is staying the same. Higbee going out there expecting the backup tight end to step up and take his place. The odds really have not moved anything. They're still saying 4.5 for the Rams, over under 48.5. John, the bet of the day for you to start this game off is it heads or tails, Hillbilly? Where are we going?
Oh man, I always go heads.
I got to agree with him on that one.
Yep,
Jace, it's got to be heads from me as well, I think. Heads never fails. So, Jason?
I'm going tails.
You just to be different.
Got to change it up, man.
Ken, what are you going with?
Go ahead.
You go, okay. Sean, go on. I'll let you. You can play on this one this week as well. We'll get you back at some point to reveal the scores. Where are you going with this? Heads or tails, buddy?
It's a tails.
Okay, so it's a 3-2 split. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So, what's next along your lovely little line of crazy that you've prepared for us today?
Here's a great one for John. I know that he's probably sitting in Florida right now looking at the Gator, thinking his cousin Maury was coming on the show and that he wanted some interesting facts. So Big Sean's going to give him a good one. The opening kickoff in the game being a touchback. Now, some fun stats here. Yes is minus 180. No is plus 150. The last 26 of 28 Super Bowl games, the answer to this is no. No, there will not be a touchback. It equals a 93% rating. Right now, the highest odd you can make money in Vegas on the little fun side is taking the no touchback and coming out. So, Mr. Gaskins, are they coming out or are they getting a touchback?
Touchback.
You're gonna go with a touchback. Okay. You know what?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna err on the side of crazy with Gaskins on this one. I think I'm gonna go with the touchback myself as well.
Have you guys looked at the kickers for the two teams?
Well, I do believe Money Mac. I believe Money Mac happens to be a kicker, does he not? And that boy's got a golden boot. So all I'm saying is
17th and 20th rated kickers for touchbacks in the NFL.
Yeah,
just a fine piece of knowledge.
50-50 odds.
It's 50-50.
I know Jason's going to agree with the big guy here, and he's going to say they're coming out.
They're coming out, 100%.
Ken, where are you going with this one?
Touchback.
Hey, three crazies. I like it. Come on, Sean. What else you got for us? Come on. We're
all right. So for the favorite Brit, he loves Matt Stafford. So we got to give him some Stafford details for the weekend. We're going to go Matt Stafford on passing yards.
Ooh.
Will Matt Stafford be over 283.5 or will he be under?
Under, without a shadow of a doubt. There's no way he surpasses 270 this weekend. That D line is going to air raid the crap out of him. That is it. Done, dusted. Thank you very much. Check, please.
I got to hear Ken on this one. He's going to have some good news for the there goes the hand.
Up, baby, up. He's going 300 plus.
No.
You know, Ken, he's only done that in 2 games in the playoffs. And the one was the Baumna Cooper Cup to give them a shot to win.
They've only played 2 games in the playoffs, though, right?
No, they've played 3.
Oh, well, my bad.
But I agree with you, but I think this is an under by about 3 yards. I think he goes for about 280. There's going to be a hook on this one. Jason wearing those crazy Michigan colors. I don't know if I can talk to you after that rough game for me last night, but what do you think of this one?
I'm going under. I think they're going to run a fair amount, so I'm going under.
Hey, John, I know Tom Brady's not in the game, so you don't care, but how about you give your opinion?
Well, my opinion is this. You said he's played in 3 playoff games, and 2 of them he's passed for over 300. So, as Meatloaf, God rest his soul, would say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's going to be 300 plus, 3 touchdowns, and an MVP.
Whew.
Wow.
Okay.
And an
MVP.
Dude,
Hey,
I'll give the man's calling this show. I'll give him
and
that.
the Brits voodoo doll can't do anything about it.
And the MVP.
Yeah,
3 touchdowns.
I'd like to counter that, please. He throws under 270, 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and a pick 6, and
a partridge
loses.
in a pear tree.
And
A
loses.
pick 6. I would love to see that to number 30 for Cincinnati, a hometown kid. Because if he could score a touchdown, he's getting paid next year.
All right, what else you got then, Sean? Come on. I know you.
So we're going to do touchdown passes. I think this is the easiest bet of the night. Joe Burrow over 1.5 or under 1.5. And
Yes.
Matthew Stafford over 2.5 or under 2.5.
All right, I'm going to go with Burrow over, Stafford under. I just don't think he's got 3 touchdown passes in him in this game. I really don't. And Burrow's Burrow. I mean, seriously, we're talking about a guy that's been sacked, 51 times in the regular season. You know, he's battle tested. He got sacked 9 times in the one playoff game already this year, which tied a record. This kid is money. So easy, going over with him, going under with Stafford because I have no faith whatsoever. Jaded Lions fan, what can I say? Jason, you go next.
All right, I'm also going Burrow over. Might be because I have like 8 Cincinnati Bengals on my fantasy football team.
Yeah, I wonder if you're going to get that in.
But with Chase there, I have to go to over, and I'm going Stafford to under.
Good man. Mr. Gaskins, you go next.
You say Burrow's the man. What's funny is when you hear about the best player in the NFL, do you hear Joe Burrows or do you hear Aaron Donald?
To be fair, I'll give you that. Aaron Donald is the best player, and those words have actually left my.
And he's going to show up.
But one player showing up like that isn't going to disrupt a guy like Burrow.
Well, that's why you got Von Miller right after that, but over on both.
You're going over on Burrow. Okay, fair enough.
Burrows will throw 2 and Stafford 3.
All right, Ken.
Well, apparently I need to drink a little bit more because I'm agreeing with you yet again. Over on Burrows. No, not you, Gaskins, with the Brit.
Down on Stafford. Boom. I like it.
See, that's why you
Over
lost
on
all the
Burrows,
playoff bets.
under on Stafford. I say Stafford probably throws 2.
Yeah. Sean, where are you lying with this particular set of bets? Are you going to align with the Brit and, the sensible people in the room, or are you going to go along with Gaskin?
Gaskin made good points, but here's my theory, though. The defensive line for the Rams is incredible. I think Burrow goes over and Stafford is going to be under. It'd be with the Brit, but I think it's a lot closer in game time. This bet I will stay away from. I will not have any part of it. I will sit back and laugh after watching these clips, but this game and this prop bet is not one for the big man.
Oh, pansy ass. We don't abstain here.
Throw a set, Sean.
Throw a set, my friend. You got to pick them. Pick them now. Come on. You don't get to abstain. These are your prop bets, so you don't get to abstain.
I would say if I'm gambling, I'd be a Gaskins guy. I say they both go over.
Boo. All right, next one. Go on.
So, one for the group that I've been having fun with all day, and I know Paulie's going to get excited about it. Ken is drinking, so I know he's going to get thirsty when I say this. But I want to know, fellas, what color of Gatorade is the winning coach going to get dumped on? I mean, this is a crucial part of the game, Ken. I mean, you can make big money on this prop bet.
Got a question though here before we start making any answers. Have we got any options for color of Gatorades here or at all, or is it just going random?
Absolutely. What would you like to know? We can go red. We can go lime, green, or yellow. We can go the color orange. We can go blue, clear, or water. And then we have the favorite color of the big man, Cool Rush Purple Gatorade.
All right. Statistically, I would say I'm going to go safer. I'm going to go with orange because it always seems to be some form of orange liquid that I see would get poured out over coaches, especially when it comes to the NFL. So I'm going to stick with my safe bet and go orange on that one. That's it for me. Ken, what do you got?
I'm going to guess yellow. I don't even know. Let's go lime.
Lime or yellow?
It's not snow, so it's safe.
It's not snow. It's not yellow snow, so you're all right. Exactly. Gaskins, what do you got on this one?
Lime green.
You got fair enough.
Lime green.
Dude, I gotta go blue. Come on.
It's always got to come back to you and them, man.
Too easy.
Yeah,
Too
you
easy
suck.
indeed.
That guy
That is
needs
just-
suspended.
Good God. All right. What else you got for us, Sean? I know you've got some other bits and
So,
pieces kicking around in there.
John is all about the kickers. So we're going to give him another kicker one. Extra points, Mr. Gaskins. 1.5 McPherson, 2.5 Matt Gay.
Gaskins,
Over,
you can start.
over on
Points scored.
both, because if I'm going over on both touchdowns, then that equates. So yeah, over on both.
Jason,
Going over on both on this one as well.
Ken,
Oh yeah, over on both.
even with your touchdown thing. So I'm assuming when you say extra points, you mean extra points after a touchdown, right, Sean?
That is correct.
All right.
Or
Well,
you
then
can't do
I'm.
extra
There
points
are
after
no
a
extra
field
points
goal.
anywhere else.
Yeah. So well,
This isn't
man.
soccer.
So you're
Wow.
no, hang on. For my own edification here, ladies, right? Ken's picked the over on both, but he's agreed with me on the touchdowns here. So unless they get a running touchdown, I suppose. But all right, don't worry about it. My brain caught up with whatever else that I was doing. So I'm going to go with over on both as well, because I've just realized you can get a rushing touchdown because I'm stupid. There you go. That's
Your pick six too, man. Your
and my pick
does
six.
get
That's
extra
very
point.
true. My pick six is up there as well. So yeah, I'll go over on both on that one. What are you? I'm assuming you're going to go both over on that as well, Sean.
I agree, but I'm under on the game. I think it's under point totals for the game.
What's the
I'm
point?
going under 48.5 for the total game. I
See-
do not think it is a shootout. I think both teams play good defense, and I
think it's
think
gonna
it
be a
ends
rock
up
fight.
like I think you're going to see a 27-24. You're going to see way less. I mean, you're going to see under 48. That was 51. But you're going to see a way less total coming into it than what people are expecting.
Yeah, see, I'm the way I've looked at it so far this week, with the way both teams have played in the last few weeks, especially, and with the Bengals being basically severe underdogs, I've got them winning very close. I've got them at a 31-30 win. Literally, it's a point game for me for Bengals. That's how. But I think it's an over game. I said this last week when we were talking about it originally. I think it's an over. I think it's Bengals money line, and I also think it's Stafford with a pick six. Those were my three bigs last week. It was as simple as that, and I'm sticking to them this week. But I think it's a 31-30 game.
John Gaskins is always the guy that questions conspiracy theories and ideas.
Especially on
So
this show, and especially when he considers me.
I'm going to do some John Gaskins here. So let's look at it this way. Mr. Gaskins, where was the Super Bowl last year?
Tampa.
Who won the Super Bowl?
Tampa.
And where were they playing at?
Tampa.
It's not going to happen this year. Here's the reasons. Look at Vegas. Vegas is begging you right now to take LA and the points just because they're at home. Think about who could be a face, a guy by the name of Matt Stafford, who is old, that's going out of the game, or a guy like Joe Burrow, who they're trying to usher into the game. So, in my opinion, you take the 4.5, you take the Bengals, you take the money line, like Paul says, which is very good right now, and it keeps going up because Mattress Mac is pounding. If you guys know anything about Mattress Mac, he is pounding the Bengals. He's at 9.5 million, and he is saying he has another 5 million to put on the game Sunday at 6 p.m. So it will be $14.5
awesome.
million on the Cincinnati Bengals. He's taken the spread in one of the bets, and he also took the money lines. If he wins, it'll be about a $27.5 million win for Mattress Mac. But I think the theory is the NFL needs new. Kenny's boy in Green Bay is getting old. Everybody hates to love him. I love the guy. He looked really nice in the brown suit last night. Very fashionable. John Gaskins would wear that suit. That's how stylish he looked. So you know what? I tell you what, the NFL is setting it up for the Bengals to win this game, and Vegas thinks the Bengals are going to win the game. And I think your Super Bowl champ is Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
There we go. You had it out of the big man's mouth himself. So there you go. A couple of things to add to this as well. In my research for regular season stuff this week, because obviously we all know that Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. How the hell he managed to pull that off, I don't know, with his shenanigans all year, let alone his passing game. By the way, before you even start getting off on me on a tangent here, Ken, there are at least 7 other quarterbacks with better passer ratings and numbers than Aaron Rodgers in this regular season. The only thing he leads is in, I believe, was the ratings, which was about 111, which was about 3 points more than Joe Burrow, according to, I believe it was ESPN I was looking at about an hour ago. But Stafford this season, he's thrown for 4,886 yards. He's had 601 attempts, 404 completions. He's got a completion percentage of 0.672. He threw 41 touchdowns. But here's the big one for me, especially when it concerns the Super Bowl. He's thrown 17 interceptions this year, not accounting for the near misses that he's had in the playoffs. And we had that big one that Tart dropped in the previous game, which I was annoyed about. He's got an 8.1 yard to attempt rate, and he's only been sacked 30 times. Now that tells me that his front four are fantastic and they're doing their job well. But on the flip side, you've got Joe Burrow, who has, passed for a slightly smaller amount of yards at 46.11. He's got an 8.9 yards per attempt, 520 attempts, 366 completions. His completion percentage is actually a hell of a lot better at 0.704. He's only thrown 34 regular season touchdowns. He's only thrown 14 interceptions. He was sacked 51 times in the regular season. Now, this is a big one for me with the sacks, because if you take the sacks that he accumulated in the regular season, the 9 sacks he accumulated in that first playoff game where he got absolutely abused, right? That's, plus I think you got sacked.
I know that one. I know 60.
Yeah, congratulations. You got an education.
There's 3 more though.
And then 3 more, and then 3 more the following game. So 63 sacks over the total year to Stafford's, I think 35, I think it was total. And, Joe Burrow is one hard nut to crack. The kid keeps getting back up. I mean, you can't find that type. You can't pay for that type of mentality. The kid has been beaten, bruised. Yeah, 11-9 pass rating for the regular season. Burrow was second. That's exactly right. He beaten by about 3 points. And, when it comes to regular season numbers, which is what the season MVP was voted on, from what I understand it this week, Aaron Rodgers, for some unknown reason, won it, and I don't understand. Burrow was better than him this year across the board, except for the player rating, which was by 3 points on everything when it comes to passing yards, attempts, everything else. You look at the numbers, Ken, and tell me I'm lying. Right?
You're lying.
No, I'm not, because I know for a fact I did my research.
I got it right here.
So have I, right on my screen, right? Burrow's number, he eclipsed him in passing yards. He eclipsed him in attempts as well as completions, I believe. I think Rodgers may have got the touchdown ratios over. And I know the only thing that Aaron Rodgers did successfully this year, he threw 4 interceptions all season long. I think that might actually even be a season low. And if that's what you're handing out MVP awards for, then I'm sorry, but what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing handing out MVP awards for?
I'm going to object. I'm going to jump on Big Ken, and we're going to go to battle. Here's why Aaron Rodgers was your NFL MVP. Where would they be with Jordan Love?
Probably in the same spot they are now, because quite honestly, Aaron Rodgers is off to go and film his commercials and do nothing with the rest of his life.
But time out, Paulie. We're talking MVP here. So if Aaron Rodgers misses the game, Love stinks it up, that team is better with Aaron Rodgers. Tampa Bay, John Gaskins. Tom Brady's gone now. He's going to go out and try to get Russell Wilson to come down and hang out and wrestle Gators in Tampa. But you know what? Right now, you're talking and you're seeing this. Devontae Adams, best wide receiver. Love quarterbacks the game. He was out with COVID. 2 games, no offense. Aaron Rodgers comes back. The offense flips. Aaron Rodgers runs that offense. Without that general, Aaron Rodgers should be the MVP. Even it's the numbers, but you got to look at the sex appeal. You got to look at what he does, and you got to look at that.
This is where I disagree with you on this one, right? Because you say sex appeal and you say the numbers, right? For weeks on this show, Ken, bless his cotton socks, and he'll guarantee he'll tell you the same thing in a moment. He's been banging on about regular season numbers and the MVP award, right? And defending Rodgers in the process of doing it, saying that he's got the best numbers. The only thing he's been best at this year is not throwing interceptions. Ken, come on.
So, okay. So right here, you said that Burrows had better numbers all across the board, except for interceptions. I think what did I say? Okay, you are wrong. You are wrong.
Okay.
Touchdowns 37-34. You missed one.
I did.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so he was better at two things. There. Right. But
interceptions, passer rating, touchdowns. We're just talking Burrows. Okay. Yeah, he overdid yards. Sacks. Now, yes, that's a lot to do with the line, but it's also due with knowing when to throw the ball away. 30-51.
Yeah, and
that's a big deal for your teams.
And on that note, I'll give you give Burrow the credit, the credit that he deserves by taking said sacks. But not only that, but you have to remember it's his second year in the NFL. The kid's just taken a know-nothing team to a Super Bowl attempt. What's Rodgers done? He cost them a game against the Chiefs this year, right? We will go back to that. Well, he's not only that, but he also choked in the playoffs again. I mean, how many times has that happened in the last few years?
We're not talking playoffs. Look,
yeah, but this,
my heart still hurts.
But the thing is, you Americans always say, it's based on the numbers. He wasn't the best at everything, and that's what an MVP is supposed to be about. Am I wrong in this?
No, the most valuable player on the team. That's what that means. Okay.
He was the most valuable player in the league.
And like Sean said, if you pull Rodgers off that team for the entire year, not playoffs, not 1 or 2 games, okay, Green Bay is looking like your Detroit Lions, for Christ's sake.
I'm not going to disagree with that because you've just lost the quarterback, and to be honest with you, the Lions have been in a dismal state for 50 odd years anyway. But that's the problem in the draft to deal with, and that's Brad Holmes. That's Brad Holmes, and
we're only talking about
Dan
this year, but
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. Everybody has a differing opinion on the MVP award. I personally don't think it should have gone to Rodgers. I don't think he was worthy enough. His off-field antics, regardless of his numbers, which everybody else has been stating,
because you're a sore Lions loser. That's what it boils down to.
No,
Rodgers.
I am is a realistic Lions fan. I am a realistic Lions fan. I know what the state of the franchise is. I also know what the state of the GM chair is now and what the head coach chair is now, right? My big issue is the fact that there are undeserving players winning awards that they shouldn't be awarded, right? Joe Burrow probably deserved it. Dak Prescott probably deserved the MVP for the job he did down there.
Jason, can you talk did he just say
Dak Prescott? Yes, I did.
Jason, come on. With that, Richard, get on in here.
I gotta cut you off.
Dude, you're down there. You tell me.
NFC? Who was the number 1 seed? It was Green Bay, right?
Through sheer luck, yeah.
But they're the number 1 seed, the best team that in the regular season.
No.
So they got a bye. Then they came out
tiebreaker because Tampa had the same record.
Tampa.
So is it a tiebreaker?
They still got the number 1 seed. Right?
Yeah, but Gaskins is not wrong.
But number 1
seed, not wrong.
Listen, at the end, the thing is, they might have well been the number 1 seed, but quite frankly, they weren't the number 1 seed. I think Tampa were. Myself, I'm going to agree with Gaskins on this one because, quite frankly, he's right for a change. And I never say that about my favorite redneck at all. But there you go. All right, so. What I want to know is, with the final couple of minutes of this part of the show, is anybody got any crazy Super Bowl predictions? Anybody got any crazy ass win percentages past? Gaskins, go for it.
Well, here's the thing. Y'all are talking all these stats and this, that, and the other, regular season, psyched and all this. Everyone knows how to fight till you get punched in the mouth. You ain't going to know what either team does until they hit the field. 35 to 21. LA, both teams score a late touchdown when it doesn't matter.
Okay, fair enough. So Gaskins has got the Rams winning. Jason, come on, what do you got?
Smokes.
I've got the Rams win too, but I'm actually going to go with the pick for the MVP, who's the 5th best odds, Aaron Donald. I think he's going to hit and destroy Burrow, which sucks because I want Burrow to do well. But I think he's also going to lead to a fumble. It's going to go back for a touchdown.
I think you need to take his counterpart and take more money. Von Miller or Leonard Floyd for the defensive MVP, and it'll make you a lot more money in your pocket. I think Aaron Donald gets double and triple teamed all day,
Every time.
and it's Von Miller and Leonard Floyd's game. If they're going to get to Burrow, one of them are going to get
They're going to have to step up. Yeah.
Because you're not going to award an offensive player the MVP because if Stafford goes off, they're going to give it to him unless one of the defensive players really makes a stunning play. So I think if you're going to make that bet, Jay, you got to gamble and go take the bigger odds and try because you're going to make 850 with Donald. But if you get the bigger pair, you take Floyd or one of them, they're paying anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000 plus. So if you put a little on that, there's some good money there to be made.
Dos politos.
Yeah, indeed. You got to have cojones
I
for
agree.
that one.
You got to have some big ones, but I'm putting a couple bucks on it just to see what happens.
Fair enough. All right, Ken, what do you got for this one? Any crazy predictions?
Ken says Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Paul can fly a kite, and here comes his pick.
Seriously, I'm going to find the mute button for this guy right now. I'm starting to regret this.
Hey, he knows what he's talking about, okay? I'm just saying. Look, But Aaron Rodgers aside, nothing crazy. I mean, like you said, like Sean stated earlier, the league wants Burrows as the face. They're trying to usher him in. Why not have him as the MVP?
Fair enough. All right. Personally, I think it is going to be a 31-30 game. I think it's the Bengals all day. Listen, just to complete my bingo card, I need Stafford to throw a pick six this weekend. I really do. And I will be jumping up and down around the office and scaring the crap out of people this weekend if it happens. Trust me and believe that. I'll even record it and post it on Facebook if I have to. But
I am putting a bet in tonight for Paul Robinson for $20. It says Stafford has a pick over the half. Yeah, if he gets a pick six, we're going to England because those odds are even higher.
Right?
Mate, my voodoo magic will work its way through, I'm sure, to the LA locker room and Stafford itself. All right.
So one quick point.
Oh,
you all
man.
You picked MVPs, but you're missing one thing. Joe Burrow is the second favorite for the MVP. Third is a wide receiver. So, one funny stat. No, Jamar Chase is fifth. Donald is sixth right now at plus 1,400. Here's a fun bet, just to make you think about it. Jamar Chase over 3.5 rushing yards. Sleep on that one. It's a very enticing number. It's a fun bet. Think about it.
He's been known to do that as well.
I said over.
I'll go over. You know what? I'll take over on that one as well because he's been known to hit a running play every now and again. So yeah,
they've only ran him 7 times this year.
Yeah,
but
they've all
what team gave the Rams the most troubles? The San Francisco 49ers. And who did they have? Debo. Chase is going to get the ball.
Well, they've got to do something because if they do, I mean, if you're the Rams this weekend, you're double teaming Jamar Chase and you're leaving the likes of Mixon and
just put Ramsey on him.
Ramsey.
Yep.
Really?
Ramsey's going to guard him, but who is going to play Boyd and Higgins? Both of those guys are quality, kind of like Gaskin's boys last year. Evans, what's his name? Godwin, whoever. There's more than just one guy, so you can't shut them all down, Paulie.
No, I know, but I mean, if you're going to successfully stop Burrow in the passing game, you double team his main weapon, which has been Jamar Chase all year.
Yeah, but Jamar Chase was shut out of receptions 3 games this year, you didn't even know he was there because Higgins had 180 yards.
Yeah, but this is because they switched over to everybody else. But we'll get to that anyway. All right, we're going to take a short break, ladies and germs. Obviously, we're going to have Big Sean come back with us and talk some MLB side of things. Get away from the NFL and the Super Bowl for the love of all that is holy. And we'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back to this week's episode of DST. This week we're joined by Mr. Big Sean himself, Mr. Sean McCullum. We're going to get into some different bits and pieces now with Major League Baseball. All right, first things first, we've got a bit of a black eye on the sport of baseball this week with the trial of Eric Kay. And I know that this isn't exactly the sporting news that we normally cover, but I mean, this has got ramifications that's going to be affecting the sport for the next decade, I think. Eric Kay accused of giving Tyler Skaggs the drugs that were fatal to him and ended up ending his life in 2019. It's been reported this week that Matt Harvey, who has been basically accused of also giving Tyler Skaggs Percocet, which wasn't found in his system at the time of his death, has been named by the defense in the trial of Eric Kay, who was I believe the Angels, one of the clubhouse managers. And this is a thing that could drag quite a few names in the world of baseball into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. There are multiple reports of multiple players being named by both the defense as well as the prosecution, and a lot more players that have been, given, painkillers like oxycodone and Percocet and everything else in this trial. And the league's got enough problems on its hands as it stands at the moment with regards to the ongoing stupidity that is the CBA negotiations, Rob Manfred coming out on TV being his general stupid self, and everything else that's going on. I mean, obviously we're dealing with the death of what was a very, very talented starting pitcher out in LA. And, is this going to lead to more ammunition towards the Players Association in regards to drug testing? I mean, for the first time in 20 years, the steroids testing has also been dropped because the deal ran out whilst the lockout was in effect. I mean, are we going to see stricter kind of guidelines for the use of painkillers and, herbal remedies, all that sort of thing in the world of baseball? I mean, what do you got? I mean, I've only done a small deep dive into this week because obviously it's been popping up on my news feeds, but I mean, it's tragic circumstances surrounding Skaggs. It was a shock to pretty much the entire baseball community anyway. But for me, it's kind of like, this is a black eye that the sport really can do without right now. I mean, anybody got any thoughts on this, or, anybody got any reactions? Gaskins, you're the baseball guy around here, like myself.
You'll get some lip service, but I mean, nothing's going to change. I remember having a conversation with Ken Griffey about it, and he said, back when they played, it was Reds, no pun intended, and greenies, and it was pills galore. Nothing's changed 40 years later. So again, they'll give you lip service and tell you that they're going to do something, but it won't change. Fair
enough. Ken, have you got any thoughts on this?
Not really. I just simply agree. I agree with Gaskins on it. I mean, it's a sad situation, but especially with them dropping the drug testing already, the steroid testing.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, the way I said that, they haven't actually dropped it. The deal for the testing itself between the Players Association and the league has expired during lockouts, and because obviously with the lockout going on, they haven't renegotiated the actual terms of that agreement. I would have thought that would have been something that they would have got sorted straight away, just to show to everybody that at least we've got the fundamentals in place, and the players. There are those players out there that will take advantage of a situation. There's no testing. Screw it. Let's do it. I mean, Ken, back to you, my friend.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. But I mean, it'll be what it is. Like, I mean, any law, people will bend before it breaks. Yeah. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Jace, you got any thoughts?
I concur with both of them.
Fair enough. Sean, I know you're big on things like this, and I'm sure you've got an opinion at least.
I mean, he was one of my favorite pitchers. One of the names that you mentioned has always been known to be a partier, Mr. Matt Harvey. When he left out of New York, the biggest rumor was that he could find normalness going to a city like Cincinnati, being out of the spotlight. Kind of like some of the comments you've made this week. There's another player who everybody is going to trash on. But if you get him out of a city like LA, this pitcher will be back to a guy that will still be most hated and liked, but he will be out of the limelight. So, I mean, I agree with Gaskins. I mean, I'm in a city with one of the best minor league ballparks in the country. And I mean, I know a lot of the GMs. I know a lot of the guys in and out. And yeah, it's easy come, easy go, unfortunately, like Ken kind of said, because I mean, things happen. I mean, the steroid testing being dropped only opens up a huge or larger debate for you in the future, because there's some Hall of Fame guys that had steroid problems that need to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, to be honest, we've kind of discussed the Hall of Fame here a little bit. I mean, I personally, yes, I would like to see Barry Bonds and the likes go into the Hall of Fame, but with the caveat with it being, these guys were either accused or were found out or whatever. Yes, they had Hall of Fame worthy careers, but they need their own separate wing to describe not only the type of people they were, but the era of baseball they were currently playing in at the time. I think that caveat should be added, but honestly, with the likes of David Ortiz going in, I think it's going to be down to the legacy committee for the likes of the Bonds and the Pete Roses of the world and everybody else that comes in between on that one anyway. But you segued into a certain scumbag in LA. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but I will say this. If I didn't need proof that the American judicial system was a joke before, I certainly have it now. LA County District Attorney's Office have declined to criminally press charges against everybody's favorite pitcher in Los Angeles, Trevor Bauer.
He is Jason's favorite pitcher.
Yeah, well, either. But at this particular point, the judicial system in your country stinks. It's as bad as your elections, let's face it, quite honestly. And it's almost as bad as Lions fans. We'll get to them later. But I mean, with the fact that the LA County DA's office has decided to decline pressing charges, this obviously opens up a gateway back to baseball and pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers, or the Los Angeles Scumbag Awareness Group that I'm going to be calling them from now on. And honestly, I'm not sure I personally would like to see him back in the game. I mean, he's been a pain in the ass for many years anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for him calling out the league and Manfred especially, because if anything else, it just provides me light entertainment. But the things that he was accused of and the photos and the reports that were released over the last year or so, I mean, they were pretty damning. I don't know how you don't try and convict, myself personally. But I mean, is he going to play in LA? Does he have a morality clause in his contract that LA might actually exercise? They've been known to say, weather the storm, so to speak, with situations like this in the past. Is he going to be pitching in LA this season, if there's a season at all? Ken, you first, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. He's been exhilarated by,
exonerated, I think is the word you're looking for.
Yes, sir. But, hey, I'm a couple in, okay? He's probably exhilarated that he's exonerated.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so yeah.
But I mean, why wouldn't he pitch? I mean, if anything, he's going to get extra time to prepare because of the lockout.
Fair enough.
So,
You don't think LA decide to put, maybe if there's a morality clause, because obviously he opted into his contract for the first time in his career.
I think if there was a morality clause, we would have heard about it by now.
There isn't one in his contract.
Shocking. Gaskins, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, you're talking about our judicial system, and it's really quite simple. You are innocent until proven guilty. You are not guilty until you prove yourself innocent. It's the other way around here. All right. And you talk about our election system.
I knew that was going to rile him up.
Hey, hold on. Boris who?
Oh yeah, trust me. I already know we've got our own problems over here, but I'm not worried about our elections because at least we actually get them right the first time around. Don't spend 4 months counting votes and then still trying to steal an election. But we'll pass over that. But back to the scumbag.
The Dodgers will do whatever will get them over the hump against Atlanta. So they'll bring him back to pitch if it gets them to the World Series again and makes them money.
Fair enough.
Bottom line, it's money.
It's money. Yeah, it always comes down to the almighty dollar. Jace, you got any thoughts on scumbag?
Sadly, he will probably make my fantasy baseball team because I need some pitching help. But
there's no hope for you. There really isn't any hope for you at all. Good God. All right, so there's the black eyes out of the way at the very least. Anyway, right, we're going to get to the lockout because Rob Manfred was talking on Thursday and there was a couple of announcements that were made, which one supposedly for the betterment of the sport and one that's been a long time coming anyway. The elimination of a draft pick compensation pick for teams that lose players to free agency is finally a thing. It's been one of those things in the last couple of CBAs that's been a massive kind of stunts the free agent market when it comes to the hot stove in, the Octobers, Novembers, Decembers type, because those qualifying free agents that, are going into free agency, if they receive that qualifying offer from a team to, it basically means they get their compensatory draft pick back. I knew I'd get it eventually. And that's now been abolished, which, I agree with. I mean, to be honest with you, the teams have already made their money and got their service time out of players anyway. It stopped certain players from signing contracts into the mid-Junes in recent years after the draft has happened. So they didn't qualify to get I believe Kimbrel was one player that didn't sign until the mid-season a few years back before he signed. I think it was with the Cubs. And he had that draft pick attached to him until June, then he signed, and then obviously it was negated after the fact. I think that's a good thing that's come out of the talks this week. The other thing is the universal designated hitter rule. I don't like this. I'm a fan of the DH rule in the AL. It provides that little something different to the American League and the National League themselves. It separates both leagues. Now, I understand that the players, they love the idea of a universal DH because it gets more players playing time, gets players paid, helps you bring up, top prospects to put into a slot where instead of you trying to find a slot to put them. So it gives teams more options when it comes, and you don't see the 95% mediocre pitching hitting on any NL side. The problem with that for me is I'll never see a Bartolo Colon home run ever again, or that type of home run that he hit a few years ago. I won't see like a Syndergaard hitting, swinging and missing in Mets or in LA or wherever it is he was, he'll go to hit. For me, it takes away a little bit of the fundamentals of, the end of the National League, and I don't like it. Don't get me wrong, I understand it from a business point of view, but for me, it's kind of like, the NL was special for this reason. The AL special for this reason. And when you got interleague play, you have to adapt your strategies, especially when it comes to World Series. When you got an almighty AL team coming into an NL park, and then suddenly the pitcher's got to hit for the first time in like a year probably, and it's kind of like, well, them's are the breaks. You got to flow with the punches. I'm not going to see that anymore. I'm going to miss that type of excitement. And I want to know, what do you guys think? I mean, obviously the elimination of the pick, everybody can agree that that's a really good thing. But the DH rule, universal, it's been coming for a few years anyway. Anybody got any thoughts? Anybody?
I like it. It's not an oddity anymore. Remember when the World Series used to be the winner of the American League and the winner of the National League, and that's the only time they played.
Yeah.
Remember that? Well,
back in the olden
Correct.
days.
Right. Now I'm showing my age. But whenever interleague play started, it became less of a novelty, and you knew it was coming anyway. So I'm for it.
Ken?
I'm for it. I mean, it just it takes away the, like say, 90% sure out. It takes away your pitcher getting hit. It takes away so many things on the game that just I don't know. I just think it's better all the way around. Make the AL NL the same. Why not?
Yeah, see, for me, is the differences between the leagues was what
By the way, you guys need to get back to I agree with Gaskins.
Jason, come on, you got to have something to say about this as well. Or?
I'm glad I got to see the pitchers hit, because like Mad Bum, he used to hit a ton of home runs and all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of entertaining, but I do think sadly it needs to move on to universal DH. So,
but time out. Look at this one thing, Jason. And I know you're going to laugh at me when I say this. There are pitchers that can rake. So they can still be used in those situations to still give us some fun sex appeal with a pitcher hitting home runs.
See,
if you think Michael Lorenzen is going to the Angels and not get a shot to play the outfield and bat, you're wrong. Because I bet you he can still bat at least 20 to 30 times a year.
And Steve, Sean, I love
Anthony
that.
Ghost.
I love that point, to have more like Shohei went ahead and showed what he can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem with the Shohei Ohtanis of the world is they've got fatigue level issues. I mean, Shohei's pitching numbers weren't stellar last year. I mean, his hitting was phenomenal, and nobody will disagree with me on that one. But his pitching numbers weren't, ace level materials for me. They weren't that good. So I mean, there's a segue for two-way players with the DH rule and everything else. And Shohei's proven that you can do it if you've got the right type of player, especially if the hitting is on point as Ohtanis was this year. But kind of like you've got to. It's kind of like
good for the game. I think it's good for the game.
It's a change. It's a change for the game. That's true.
College players are expected to hit, no matter what position, and lots of times they throw the players out there.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Why not? Why have pitchers are already. If you're getting paid that much money, I don't want to see I don't want to see a Casey Mize out there getting hit because he's trying to hit.
No, there's a safety aspect to it as well, I suppose, as well. But there you go. All right, we're going to move on to Gaskins and his homework this week. So So last week, Gaskins and myself are having a very, 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 I wouldn't say heated. I think a differing of opinions with regards to minor league baseball. And when we were talking last week about the possibility of the season not being starting on time, and the possibility of the major networks switching over to AAA and AA teams and maybe some high A stuff, and we brought in obviously college ball games were thought of in that regard. Well, that's how the conversation started. But Gaskins said, because we were talking about there's no real minor league team that I would want to watch for instance, for any players that weren't on 40-man rosters. For me, there aren't 15 guys in the minor leagues that aren't rostered on a 40-man roster, who would be ineligible to play if the lockout was to continue anyway, that haven't been drafted in the last 2 years of first-year player drafts or in the last 2 international free agent signings. So Gaskins reckons he's got 30 options or so, or from what I understand it, and at least 15 of these people I would pay, me personally, the Brit, would pay money to go and watch live in a ballpark. So I said, you know what, that's fine. Now, the terms of this particular wager were, if there are no 15 players that I would agree to spend my hard-earned British pounds on to go and see, Gaskins next week on his show would actually put the Union Jack in all its glory as his backdrop for the entirety of the show and hold his head down in shame, such as it is, because quite frankly, this is payback for Boston Harbor, you son bitch. So Gaskins, you've got your homework, you've got your list, bring it to me. Let's go. You got 15 names at least, I hope. Let's see if any of them
absolutely.
Let's see if there's anyone I would actually pay money to go and see.
And I did. I really took the time, and I didn't do any that were more than or less than 2 years. I double checked, make sure that all were off the 40-man roster, and there's some solid names, tons of top 100 prospects. So I think it might be more interesting than you think.
Okay.
I literally went down a division, so they'll be in order of AL East, Central West, NL East, Central West.
Roger that. Who's your first one?
Baltimore, Gunnar Henderson.
No.
Infielder, 55 hit tool, 60 power, and 50 speed. He's going to be fun to watch. Those are star numbers.
Okay, they may very well be star numbers, but with a name like Gunnar, not going to be on my cup of tea.
Dude, that's a baseball name all day long. Sean, that's a baseball name.
No,
come on, back.
I agree. I would pay to watch Gunnar Henderson play some baseball.
And he was drafted in 2019.
Fair enough. So he's out of the ballpark. Okay.
Hey, that's one.
Okay, that's one. Gunnar Henderson, but that's a no from me so far.
No,
That's what you've got. You've got plenty of names. Let's go.
All right. What about Adley?
Adley Reitman. Is he not on a 40? How is he not on a 40-man roster?
He's not on a 40.
Wow, I'm stunned at that.
And Lula, I double checked all these today, but you can't tell me that's not at least one.
No, you're absolutely right. Adley, I would go and pay money to see because he is a hell of a hitter, and I would love to see him live. You're not wrong on that one.
Speaking of hellified hitters, Boston's got Nick York, infielder, 60 hit tool, drafted in 2020.
No.
A half. I'll take a half point.
No, it's not even a half point, I'm afraid. No, it's a straight up no.
All right. Well, what about their first baseman, Tristan Castles?
See, if I knew he was on a 40 man, I was really hoping he wasn't going to say
he's not on the 40.
He's not on
he is not on the 40.
I know he wasn't on the 40 because I was looking at him on my fantasy league yesterday, and so I knew for a fact he was going to put him on there. So yes,
that's number 2.
That's 2.
And we'll follow it up with number 3. I told you it's going to be harder than you thought. Everyone wants to see the Martian play. He's not on the 40.
Damn it, that's 3.
Am I right?
Yeah, no, I'll give you the Martian.
Watching a 17-year-old NFL linebacker play baseball. Yeah, everyone wants to see that.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that one.
And also from the Yankees, their number 1 prospect now, Anthony Volpe, 60 hit tool, 50 power, 55 speed.
And what's most annoying about that is that we were literally talking about him a week ago. So yes, I will give you Volpe as well.
Now, move on to Toronto. And what is it? Orvis Martinez?
Okay, if you can't pronounce the name, it's a direct no. So move on.
Dude, I better pronounce my name sometimes.
Paulie. Or Orvlis or whatever my boy Redneck said.
I'm thinking Redneck.
Mr. Martinez is an unbelievable
you know what the worst thing
guy.
about it is I actually know exactly who he's on about. And as much as I've got him on a couple of fantasy teams, I wouldn't pay money to see him.
Really?
I really wouldn't. Hey?
Groshans from Toronto.
Yes.
So,
I would not pay to see Groshans.
I would pay to see Groshans. He's got some legs underneath him, that boy.
Ken, would you pay to see Groshans?
Hey.
Yeah. I pay to see a lot worse, so yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you would pay to see.
Hey, I have the Royals AA near me, so yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Now let's move on. Torque.
Go on.
You know I got you there. Torkelson is not on the 40-man roster.
Wow.
Double check it.
I know he is not on the 40 man.
And
I know exactly who he's going with next as well.
Wait
now
to see Torkelson. Am I right?
No,
And
he will
Mr.
go-
Gaskins,
he
you
will
forgot
be
a
on the-
Tampa
he
Bay
will
Ray
be on-
player.
He will be on the
Huh?
40-man at the beginning of this year as well, which is the most annoying thing about this.
We're not talking about the beginning of the year. We're talking about now. So Torque.
Yeah. See, I knew he was going to lambaste me
So
with
I
a load
can
of
pencil you
Tigers.
down for 6, right?
That's correct. So you can
So
pencil me
let me
down
go ahead
6.
and get 7 out of the way, and let's put Riley
Green
Green
on
there.
there. Yeah, I see. That was it. I mean, I gave him 2
Halfway there,
freebies.
baby.
I gave him 2 freebies there with Tigers. You know what? No, I wouldn't pay to see him in the minor leagues. I'd pay to see him in the major leagues.
Hey, you can't.
Oh, no.
I said yes.
No.
This is being recorded. You already have yes. So let's go ahead and get number 8 out of the way and go with Bobby Witt Jr., Kansas City. You know,
How is he not on a 40-man?
Because he's a kid. He was just drafted in 2019.
I keep
I'll go ahead
forgetting
and
they've
make
got
that
3
number 8.
years before they have to get thrown on a freaking 40-man roster, isn't it? As well, that's what's thrown.
No, it is not 3 years, Mr. Paul.
Is it 4?
They can go on the 40-man in a year if there has been several pitchers.
Before they're eligible for the Rule 5 draft is where I was. This is where I was.
The Rule 5 is 4 years, I believe.
Damn it! I should have done that. All right, Gaskins, you got 8. You're halfway home, baby.
All right. What about Kansas City? Lacey, the pitcher.
No, I've seen him pitch, and I wouldn't pay to see him pitch.
Love that kid.
Don't get me wrong. He's exciting.
He is wonderful.
From a fantasy perspective, absolutely, he's something to watch. But from a personal point of view, I wouldn't pay to see him play.
And the thing about it is, I think, every single one of these are top 100 prospects.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way.
I mean, even the ones that you don't like, they're still top 100. What about Oakland's catcher, Tyler Soderstrom?
No.
What?
If I'm going, because I'm already paying to see Adley. I'm not paying to see another catcher that I don't know. I don't know.
You're paying in dollars, not euros. You're good.
Yeah, that could trust me when I tell you that exchange rate not as good as it used to be.
Okay, yeah, we'll move on now. Seattle, George Kirby. Come on now, that's my man crush. You got to give me my man crush.
Your man crush.
Absolutely.
You asking this kid out on a date?
I am
Should his
hoarding
parents
this
be
kid in
worried?
every league that I have.
You know what?
See,
again, this is the guy. This is like the Lacey situation. Yes, from a fantasy perspective, I like the look of this kid, but from a paying customer perspective, I'm not that interested in watching him pitch. I'm really
he's
not.
watching like a young Maddox, like putting it right where he wants.
Okay, seriously, you can't compare
button.
that kid. No, well, first things first, you can't compare him to Maddox because I don't think he's got that level of talent.
Dude, they're comparing
sorry,
Jason Dominguez to a Martian. You didn't have a problem with that.
The dude looks like a goddamn Martian. What do you want from me? No, it's a no from me. Next, you're still at 8.
Okay,
he likes hitters.
Seattle. One of them weird names again. Marte, the shortstop.
Novi Marte.
Novi Marte. Yeah, again, another very interesting fantasy prospect, but not somebody I would pay money to go and see.
Okay, moving on to Texas then. Josh Young.
Damn it, I'll give you that one. Josh Young
is
he's going
to be fun.
I've watched him.
I've seen some of his minor league stuff.
Fun?
He's going to be fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Well. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'll give you Josh Young. That's 9.
All right, then if we'll stay in Texas and look at a big Texan, Cole Winn.
No, I'm not looking at Cole Winn as a person I would spend. I'm not looking at Cole Winn to spend money on to go and watch him pitch. It's just this is my problem.
He doesn't like pitchers. Come on,
no,
because
because he's turned down every pitchers. All 9 of them are hitters.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Unless they are a super stud like a Severino coming up, or a Casey Mize, or a Tarek Skubal for the last few years. Unless they've got something that interests me, right? And I'm not saying that Wynn hasn't, because he's on a lot of my fantasy teams.
Well, remember you said that because next on the list is Max Meyer from Miami. You can't tell me that ain't number 10.
Don't even go there. It's not funny because he should have been drafted to the Tigers in the first place. Next.
So number 10, right?
Yeah, that's 10.
Yeah, you need to be a little bit more inclusive, Brit. That was the first pitcher you've had.
I know. Get on with it.
And let's make it 2 for 2 on the pitcher since we're on a roll. Hunter Green, Cincinnati. Throws 104 like you throw 60.
That's cold. But yes, I will give you
But true. All right, that's number 11.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 more opportunities to get your last 4. So pick your 5 best.
All right. St. Louis, Matthew Liberatore.
No.
Oh, hell no.
Injured too much. Injured
He's
too
like a
much.
chick.
No.
He likes
injured,
dog balls.
injured too much. And quite frankly, I wouldn't pay money to see him throw his arm out on a minor league mound. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Nick.
Okay. CJ Abrams.
Yes, I'll
San
give you
Diego.
I will give you CJ Abrams.
All right. Colorado, Zach Bean, that Hulk up there with 60 power in the light air of Colorado.
Sad to say I don't know him, so it's a no.
Whoa. So I get a no.
Time out. Did you just say you don't know who Zach Veen is and you play fantasy sports?
Look,
Wow.
man, I have his autograph on like 3 cards. Come on, bro.
Come on, leave me alone. It's been a long week. All right,
I should get that one just because you don't know who he is.
No, next. Move on.
Number 13, Arizona, Corbin Carroll and Alec Thomas, both of them outfielders.
Alec Thomas, I'll give you. Corbin Carroll, not so much. So I'll give you one of those. So I'll give you 3 attempts to get the last 2. 3 more players. Pick your best.
No, we're at 14 now. And
no, we're not.
Carroll's
We're at
actually
13.
better
We're
than
at
Thomas.
13 for starters.
I
Don't even try it.
Bean.
No,
Okay.
you're not getting Zach Veen. Not happening. 13.
All
You've
right.
got 3. I'll give you 3 shots at the final 2 spots. Go for it.
Nolan Gorman, St. Louis. Boom. That's
Damn
it.
That's 14.
it.
That's 14.
That's
You got
15.
No, that's 14. I'm not giving you Zach Veen. So 2 more attempts to get the last one.
Gaskin, who'd you pick out of San Diego?
I just went with CJ. He was the only one that I felt that he would watch.
I think the one that he would watch behind him is Bobby Hassel.
He doesn't know who he is.
Bobby
Yeah,
Hassel.
you
You know
don't
what?
know who Zach
Actually,
Bean is. You don't know who Hassel is.
Oh, here we go.
no, Hassel.
Last one.
Hassel would be somebody I may spend money on. I wouldn't commit to it, definitely.
He
So,
hit a shot last year in Fort Wayne on his first at bat. He had 3 home runs. The one went 30 feet deep into the parking lot, over the fence into the courthouse parking lot on the first swing in Fort Wayne, and it was a monster.
All right, Gaskins, you've got one
Last
shot at
one.
this. One shot at glory. Come on.
And speaking of light tower power, you got to give me this for number 15, San Francisco's Marco Luciano.
How is Marco Luciano not on a 40-man roster?
65 power. You can't tell me that ain't number 15. Booyah!
No, you're right. I can't. It is 15. I'm impressed. Fair enough. I'll give you that. Gaskins did his homework this week, ladies and gentlemen, and he actually found 15 players that weren't on 40-man rosters. I'm impressed.
So
I will very much. It won't be next week because I don't have the capability. But the week after, I will fly the Stars and Stripes just for Gaskins for one whole show. I will fly the Stars and
and
Stripes.
after the Rams win, it's going to be 2 weeks in a row.
Oh God, the Rams aren't winning, so I'm okay on that score. And you definitely got to fly the Union Jack after that one. All right. As always, we end the show with Muppet of the Week, and this week we did have a unanimous winner up until about 4 hours ago. And it was going to be Mr. Ken Kang for his god-awful ice hockey produced segment in last week's show. We all watched the ice hockey all-star games. And honestly, I had more fun watching the skill stuff while we were recording last week's episode. So I'm not really going to give too much credence to the ice hockey at the moment. NHL, for me, needs to prove that the fact that they're a real sport for starters, and they need to actually advertise to the point where they want to make me invested in a team. And at this point, they haven't done it. And I don't think they're ever going to. But this week, instead of Ken winning his rightful deserving award as Muppet of the Week, he got beaten by Lions fans. And not all Lions fans. I'm going to get this. Not all Lions fans. There is a not so small segment of the fan base that have decided to call themselves the Detroit Rams fans for the upcoming Super Bowl week. And they're buying these half and half jerseys and looking like complete and utter Muppets. I get it, right? I've railed against Stafford for weeks. I'm not a fan of his personally. He did what he did. He opened his mouth only to get a trade, and he disappeared to the other side of the continent. kudos to him for getting out when he did. Congratulations, you and your wife are very charitable, and the city of Detroit loves and respects you for it. But Lions fans, this little cadre, little box of you that are buying these lovely little Detroit Rams jerseys, the half and halves, whatever the hell you're calling them, stop it. You need help. Seek professional psychiatric help. I cannot stress this enough. There is something not right with the way your brains are wired. You have got to let this man go. He's not winning the Detroit Lions a freaking Super Bowl. He's doing it for the LA Rams, Los Angeles. I can't say it any clearer. At this particular point, Lions fans have gotten so stupid with this that my tirades about the draft pick, which now are null and void anyway, and I'll admit that because it's going to be 31-32 regardless. He's already screwed the Lions already. He screwed the Lions for years before anyway by choking in playoff games and not opening his mouth to, management and GMs and, ownership. But the fact there is this segment of Lions fans that continue to raise this particular man on this pedestal like he's the second coming of Brady makes me sick. And as a Lions fan, for a very long time, about the same amount of time as I've been a Tigers fan, I find it very, very disturbing that there's a little cadre of the fan base that seriously need to get help. So please, I'm begging you, seek out a professional if you're one of those people buying one of those god-awful jerseys. And if you are, and when the Rams lose on Sunday, football gods willing, burn the damn thing. That is it for this week. Muppet of the week is the Lions fans who seem to think that they're going to win a Super Bowl by, obfuscation or fripping synthesis or whatever the hell they were calling it this week. I'm done with my tirade. Muppet of the week goes to them. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Ken, thank you very much. Jason, Sean, thanks for joining us this week. My favorite.
Thank you, gentlemen.
My favorite redneck down in the corner as well, Mr. Gaskins, as always. Been a pleasure. This has been DST. We'll see you on Monday with a special recap of the Super Bowl with the winners, the losers. One of us will be crying. Some of us probably be laughing our asses off. And we'll get something posted Monday night. Have fun, guys. Peace out. Hey guys, it's us again. Just remember to like, subscribe on the channel below. You can find us all on Twitter at 3 Yanks and a Brit, and on Facebook as well in the Degenerate Sports Talk Facebook group. All the links in the description below. We've had a lot of fun this week. We thank Big Sean for being with us. It's been a bit of a blast for me personally, just to see the guys' reactions because none of them knew what was going on. And again, Sean, thanks for joining us. Again, guys, like, subscribe, just find us on Twitter and whatever else. Thanks again. Cheers. Bye.